counties, all 159 counties. It's working as we thought it would, smooth, and it's really just been flawless. We really are getting a lot of value out of it for the voters of Georgia. It really helps our election officials also. It also is very secure, and that's one of the things that people need to understand, that we talk about we want to have safe, secure, and accurate elections. Well, security has been my #1 goal since day one. In this system, it ties in, has the same security as Department of Defense using FedRAMP, security protocols. We think that's really important for voters to understand. So people are out there, they're voting, having a good time, but I think already, if we're keeping it real here, I think what's kind of baked in who the victor will probably be on this side of the aisle and who the victor will be on the other side of the aisle. And I don't do too much that predicting. That's what the consultants do. But our job is to make sure things go smooth, and that's what we've seen so far. Don't know if I can add much else. We'll continue to keep you updated, but I'm sure, with all these good reporters out here, there's probably a question or two that someone has. So the lady in the red coat, we must start with you.
Okay. You can start with me. You said no major problems. Of course, there's always
with every single update that we have. We have a verifiable paper ballot, and we're working on some other, implementations for November, working with the General Assembly on the funding for those issues. But today, it's really running smooth. We're really pleased with the work that the counties are doing.
As you mentioned, the results are somewhat baked in with the nominees all but decided. Does it matter that people vote anyway? Of course, votes will be counted and they will be used for delegates. Can you speak to how this election is still relevant?
It's always relevant because your most priceless right is the right to vote. And I think you never want to diminish the franchise to vote. And so when you have an opportunity to vote, I encourage you to. So I came from city council, and we had those races with 6% turnout. And so when I got that 55% say in that race, I knew it wasn't a big mandate. And it would have been nice that more people had voted in city municipal elections, because really that's what you're going to see every day. We all can fuss about Washington, D.C., and you can't do much about that. But city council, county commissioner, those are really important races, because that determines really the future of your community. Then school boards. That determines the future of our children, and that's really important also. So I would encourage everyone, if you haven't voted yet, please go out and vote. But like I said, it's a big state, a lot of people, and I can't go and pick you all up to make sure you get out to the polls. But I always encourage people, and so do our election directors, and so does our entire team. But thank you for the question, Mark.
Yeah, sir, this will be the first time that Donald Trump's name is on a ballot in Georgia since the 2020 election. Given all that you and your family have been through since that time, do you have any thoughts about the fact that by the end of the day, he could clinch the GOP nomination for president?
No, I think it's kind of seen this all coming down the road. He's been performing well in just about every state. He's won, except a couple. There were several candidates in there, but at the end of the day, he won out. That's how it looks like it's going to end up today. But I'm not making a prediction on that. And just like on the other side, there was a couple of folks that ran against the incumbent president, President Biden, and they all have now suspended their campaigns. So it kind of gets baked in there, as I said earlier, and it is what it is. And now we're just going to have about 7.5 months of campaigning, and I think that's going to wear everyone out no matter what side of the aisle you're on. It is what it is. You just kind of, well, our job is to really be prepared for a big turnout. Because back in 2020, we told everyone we were going to have a big turnout. We didn't know we were going to get 5 million people. But if we had 5 million in 2020, I don't think anything's changed. I think we still have, both political camps are in their corners, and it's going to be a very contested election. So I expect a big turnout, November 2024. So we're going to probably tell our folks, prepare for 6. We don't expect 6, but we want to, if you did show all up, and we did have 6, would we be prepared for that? So we keep those lines short. I think that was a tremendous thing when we added into state law, lines have to be shorter than 1 hour. You keep lines short, you get those results posted quickly. That gives voters confidence, just because, wow, they do things so efficiently. I can really trust the process. Yes, but we also have a verifiable paper ballot. Also, the General Assembly did put in additional audits. We're going to do that. And so we're prepared for any contingency. We've got a great team up and down the line.
Given what happened during the last election, do you feel a need, or not urgency, but maybe a sense of pride to show the world that this is fair and honest, secure election because of what happened before? The false allegations from before?
Well, I think we already showed that we have honest and fair elections in Georgia, and we've been doing that since day one. If you go back to 2020, we had a fair and honest election. And actually what people, they still do. Someone on our team went to an event, and they were running across a lot of people of the same political party. And they said, well, did you know in 2020 that there was 33,000 Republican voters that voted in the June 2020 primary, didn't come out at all to vote in the fall? They said, I didn't know that, never heard that. Well, we've been saying that if you've been to any of my Rotary meetings, you probably have heard me share that. And there's actually about 27,950 voters that skipped the top of the ticket, didn't vote for anyone, and yet voted down ballot. Republican congressman got 27,550. But that all goes back to campaigning, and it's up to the campaigns on both sides to turn your people out. Let the American people make your case. It's the people. People are smart. People figured this stuff out. 2022, that election went off. Well, we didn't have anyone contesting the results, and obviously the governor won with very strong victories. But at the end of the day, we had the numbers back it up. So we had verifiable paper ballot, audit any race. So no, we're in great shape, and we're going to continue to do our job. And I think that's one thing that voters know. They can trust that I will do my job. I'll do what's right, no matter what.
That's
Well,
great.
thanks.
See
We'll
you
be
guys
back.
at 5 o'clock.